right now, we have Sakile Zibusiso Dube in the house. This is a supermodel. I mean, just look at this lovely lady, everybody. She's gorgeous. I'm just trying to think. I'm not even sitting properly. I'm learning how. I'm just watching it and I'm like, I need to learn how to be a proper. Good morning,
You're doing
Sakile.
well. Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Lovely to have you on the show on this cold morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored to be here with you.
That is fantastic. Sakile, now, you're born and bred Zimbabwean.
Yes.
Obviously, you're born in Bulawayo.
Yes.
And you have made accolades and accolades in this modeling industry. But you know what was so funny for me, what struck me was that you were a psychologist before.
Yes.
What happened with that transition? Psychology, model?
Well, it was not before. I'm still studying.
You're still studying?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still studying educational psychology. So that department for me, it was quite interesting because I was doing it for myself as well. Like I was just interested in knowing what makes us behave in a certain way. And so I was doing it because it was my first love. So when I moved to Harare, I was passionate by the modeling industry. So I said to myself, I should join this and see where it leads me. And here I am.
Here you are.
And
I mean,
yes, I'm still going to go back professionally into educational psychology because the modeling industry does not last forever. So you must always have something, plan B, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you're saying that when you moved to Harare, you jumped into this. Were you introduced to it, or it was like, oh, this is going to be my side hustle or whatever it is? How did you come about?
So growing up, people always say to me, you know, you look like a model, you know, they would just pass these comments. So it started getting into my head. So I was like, okay, what if I give it a shot and try it out? So I think when I moved to Harare, that's when I said, you know what, the industry is better here than in Bulawayo, you know, ideally. So I was like, okay, let me just try it out as a side hustle and see where it leads me. And I'm so happy that I started it.
I'm so happy
I love
as
it.
well. You look great. It really suits you. Now, obviously, there's been some local successes that you have taken part in, and you're the face of Zimbabwe Fashion Week.
Yes.
Tell us about all of this.
So the industry in Zimbabwe is still a little bit struggling, but if you keep pushing, it works out. So in Zimbabwe, in 2018, I was appointed as the face of Zimbabwe Fashion Week. So for me, that was a big step. It was one of the highlights here in Zimbabwe for me to say, okay, I can do this, I can keep going. And I've also managed to work with some bigger brands here in Zimbabwe, like Zagushi, Tafumane Munenge, and just to mention a few. So
House of Stone as well.
House of Stone by Danai, yes. I cannot forget that one.
And obviously local successes, and it's working really well for you. You've managed to bump it up a little onto the international scene. Tell us about your international successes in this modeling career.
Okay, so I'm also a runway model. Besides being a pageantry model, I'm a runway. So I'm a runway model, and I do it in Italy. I'm currently signed with an agency called Fashion Model Management, and it's based in Milan. So for me, that's another big step because I get to go there in Milan during fashion weeks, and I've so far managed to work with some bigger brands like Giorgio Armani. This was the highlight of my modeling career. And yes, so also I've done Miss Earth in 2022, and I came out in top 8. So that was also a stepping stone for my career because it is big when you place on the top like that. So this is also what pushed me to accept when I was appointed as the Miss Supranational Zimbabwe, and I just went to Poland.
Yes,
to
and
represent.
you did as well. And you've got should I call it a title then? Miss, what is it?
It's Miss Supranational Africa.
Miss Supranational Africa. What does that mean, supranational?
So this is like a continental sash. So it means that out of the African candidates, I came on top.
You got it.
Yes.
Sakile, this is really incredible. I mean, just watching yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror, where else are you taking this? Where are you headed?
That's a very interesting question. So I see myself, building the industry here in Zimbabwe.
Right.
Because right now, there are so many people with potential, but they do not know what to do with it. So my end goal is to one day be able to open my own agency here in Zimbabwe. So now that I'm actually also doing it, I'm getting to learn more about the ropes, how to play the ropes in this industry from international level, so that I can take all that knowledge and bring it back here in Zimbabwe and just open up the industry for everyone who like has potential and has the talent for it and the passion as well for it. So my plan is to bring whatever I'm learning outside here in
Bring
Zimbabwe.
it back home.
Yes.
Because there's many other young models, I mean, aspiring to really be like you and, you know, get to Italy. I don't know, I'm like runway model for Italy. I'm not tall enough. So this whole aspect of being a model. So a lot of people would say, oh, you're too short or you're too tall. Is that an important aspect, and why does it have to be tall models only?
So the thing I think with the designers especially,
Okay,
they want someone who's tall and slim because they think it looks better. But for me, I think diversity is more important. And now the industry is opening more to diversity. You see short models on the runway. You know, their world is adjusting to it. But I guess the idea was that they wanted tall and slim models because in their heads they think that's looks good. But then now the industry should be open to everyone.
And
So
I'm glad that you're diverse enough to actually bring that here and give everybody a chance who wants to step into your shoes
Exactly,
and things
yes.
like that. And you know, like you did say you're still studying psychology. Why did you choose psychology?
it is such a deep story for me why I chose psychology, but it is because of my childhood background.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot that happened there and that I'm still trying to understand. So initially, this is where I was led to. I was interested in psychology just to learn more about human behavior as well.
Right.
But I'm studying educational psychology, so this has a lot to do with children's development. So for me, it is interesting to just study the mind of a child as they grow. I think this is where my passion for psychology came from.
Is it?
Yeah.
And obviously your journey, look, I don't know what happened to you, but your journey obviously has been a journey of determination and breaking ground. Tell us some of the challenges that you have faced in this industry and in your journey.
The biggest challenge I faced in this industry would be breaking barriers out of, I would say, Africa. But then in Zimbabwe as a whole, it is difficult to make a breakthrough in the industry as someone who comes from Zimbabwe. Because the international standards, they turn a blind eye to Zimbabweans, but it's because the industry here in our country is so not lively. And not many people support this notion of modeling,
yeah.
you know, so because we ourselves, maybe we don't take ourselves seriously. So the international level also, like, they just turn a blind eye to us because we don't put ourselves forward.
It's never really been a big thing.
Yes, it's never a big thing. So the world also doesn't look at us and say, okay, let's look at Zimbabwe and scout models from there. Because if you look at South Africa and Nigeria, big agencies, they go there to scout for models. So the biggest challenge will be that our industry is not like, people are not open-minded about it at the moment, but I'm seeing a little bit of change, so that's quite interesting.
And you are the change, actually, as well. Like, as you are doing this, I mean, Italy, I mean, in Poland and stuff like that. What other competitions are you lined up for, or is this the end, or is there more for you?
I think the end for me would come when I get the big crown.
Which is?
So I hope that I will be able one day to represent Zimbabwe at Miss Universe, because we just recently got back the license after 22 years. So it is a cause for celebration, I believe, and I'm really looking forward to be one day able to represent Zimbabwe at Miss Universe. But this year, I'm just going to try and rest a bit.
Oh, you're going to
so maybe next
be
year
around for this year, and there's no shows for you lined up?
No, I was talking in terms of pageantry.
Oh, pageantry.
Yes.
Because you did say you're pageantry and runway. So runway is not running away, but walking. It's walking on the catwalk, is
exactly, yes. So right now in August is going to be holiday in Europe. So my plan is to go back to Italy in September for the fashion week.
Oh, okay.
So pageantry.
Can I come with you?
Yes,
put me
please.
in your suitcase.
By all means.
That is absolutely amazing. Sakile, it's been so amazing just sitting here with you and just hearing your story and, you know, your journey.